Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the second installment of our Dynamics 365 webinar series. We're thrilled to have you here today. In this session, we are diving into the world of how to achieve more with less by exploring our connected sales and marketing solution, a vital component of any business aiming for revenue optimization. Today, we will unveil the strategies, tools, and insights you need to supercharge your sales and marketing efforts. So get ready to unlock the potential of Dynamics 365 and let's embark on this journey together. My name is Sarah Latsev, and I'm delighted to be your guide today in this exciting world of Dynamics 365. As a business application technology specialist with a focus and passion for customer experience, I'm here to unveil the possibilities and insights that can help you achieve more with less. But I'm not alone in this journey today. I'm thrilled to introduce you to my partner for today's session, our Senior Global Black Belt Technology Specialist, Matt Mead. Together, we'll be your dynamic duo sharing our expertise and experiences to help you navigate the path to revenue optimization with Dynamics 365. On the agenda, today we will start by looking at all changes in marketing, and then we will hop into a demonstration of connected sales and marketing experience with our solution. Finally, at the end, we will wrap up with a Q&A session. However, if you have questions throughout the presentation, please do not hesitate to ask them by posting into the chat. Let's get started. So, to provide the most value to you, our customers, and empower you to deliver personalized customer experiences, we have combined our customer data platform and marketing solution into one single simplified business model with both application and base quota, all at an exceptionally competitive price. That one single SKU is called now Customer Insights, consisting of data and journeys. This not only simplifies licensing, but it also offers a great cost savings, ensuring that you get the most value for your investment. Our goal here is to really enable you to provide a personalized customer experiences that resonate and drive loyalty with your own customers. This change positions you to deliver that unparalleled customer-centric experiences as your business scales over time. If you would like to learn more about this change, please let us know in the chat and we will follow up with you and provide more information to your specific use case. Another big change is that over the next year, we will be transitioning all of our customers of new product Dynamics 365 customer insight journeys from outbound to the real time. And the reason for that is that real-time marketing is really a future of marketing. It is highly responsive, customer-centric, data-driven, and adaptable. It enables brands to deliver the right message to the right audience at the right time, which is essential in a dynamic and competitive marketing environment. So, as you prepare for the future, think about not just today's needs, but the exciting possibilities and challenges that tomorrow brings. Real time engagement, it's not just a ticket, it's your passport to unlocking unparalleled customer satisfaction, driving sustainable success, and achieving that remarkable growth. Also, some important updates is that new customers will only have the access to the real-time marketing module. The existing customers who are using currently outbound, they should start to transition to the real-time. And then, of course, we will continue to support outbound marketing, but we will not be adding new enhancements. Now, let's go ahead and explore the value of real-time marketing. The real-time marketing is a game changer for businesses that they want to stay ahead of the curve. And it really delivers exceptional results when we look into functionality, effectiveness, usability testing results, and satisfaction surveys. It empowers organizations to tailor outgoing communications to individual customers or groups, instantly reacting to customer actions in real time. But the benefits don't stop here. the real-time marketing is remarkably scalable, boosting the potential to scale up to the 50 times more effectively than traditional outbound marketing. The scalability is pivotal in understanding customers on a deeper level and engaging with them in a more personalized manner, ensuring that every interaction truly counts. Next, by harnessing the power of data and AI, businesses now can deliver a proactive and continuous value to their customers. It's clear that real-time customer engagement is the future of marketing and customer experience, with all the latest innovation and upcoming AI features exclusively being available only in real-time marketing. And with that real-time journey orchestrations, businesses now can create digitally transformed experiences that span across both sales, service, marketing, and commerce, and really catering to both B2B and B2C audiences. The real-time marketing, it's really a convergence of productivity and business applications, making it an integral and indispensable component of your business strategy. And finally, real-time marketing, it is a strategic imperative for businesses aiming to excel in the modern landscape of customer engagement and satisfaction. It is a pathway to a future where every interaction is personalized and every decision is data-driven. And every customer journey is a remarkable one. So, in this ever evolving landscape of marketing, it is clear that real time marketing has emerged as a front runner, surpassing traditional outbound methods. So, the real time marketing doesn't just match the functionalities of the outbound, it raises the bar in many respects, as shown in this list of features and functionalities on the right hand side. The four top things I would like to point out on this list is that real-time marketing, it's not only about the real-time interaction, but it's also about segments. It is much better for data integration and collaboration across apps and departments. It is scalable up to the 50 times and more. And finally, much easier to use and intuitive due to AI Copilot features. Well, this completes the review of all changes in marketing. But now let's shift gears and explore how marketing and sales work together for that revenue optimization. One of the Microsoft's most remarkable strengths lies in the power of our integrated platform, where each solution seamlessly complements and communicates with the others. This slide does a good job of portraying how our sales, marketing, and service functionalities work in a perfect harmony, with AI or Copilot serving as the beating heart of this collaboration. Today, our spotlight is specifically on the sales and marketing, where we will uncover the incredible synergy between these two pillars of success. And we'll explore how those two powerful solutions work hand in hand and the importance of them sharing that same platform. I like to start by saying that sales and marketing are a match made in digital heaven. They're not just a standalone applications, but that's a dynamic duo that combines forces to supercharge your sales and marketing efforts. The key to their success really lies in their seamless connections on the same platform, allowing that unparalleled collaboration and data sharing. One of the major benefits of Dynamics 365 sales and marketing sharing that same platform is the unified customer data. So when your sales and marketing team have access to the same pool of customer information, it leads to that consistent messaging, personalized experiences, and a deeper understanding of your customers' needs and preferences. We know that with marketing, you can capture and nurture leads through the various campaigns, events, and channels, but those leads need to seamlessly flow into the sales where your sales team can take over and drive them to the sales pipeline. That seamless handoff ensures that no lead is left behind, resulting in the higher conversion rates and revenue growth. Well, with that, now let's dive into the demonstration to showcase the power of Dynamics 365 sales and marketing working in harmony. Okay, on today's journey, we have three personas. We have Mark, the marketer, Jen, inside sales rep, and then Jeremy, the field sales rep. Let me start by taking on the journey through lenses of our first persona, Mark. Ultimately, Mark as a marketer has the three primary goals that he wants to achieve, and that is to precisely segment customers, create the personalized communication, and then orchestrate personalized journeys across all touch points. All of these efforts are ultimately geared towards one common outcome, that's generating well qualified leads. These leads, once nurtured and refined, they can be seamlessly handed over to Jen, our inside sales rep, to further the sales process. Let's get started. So before we start looking at this journey through the lens of Mark, I'll quickly give you an overview of what we are looking at here. This is our home landing page of Dynamics 365 marketing or customer insight journey as it's called today. And what you're going to see in about 10-15 minutes when my colleague Matt presents our sales part, you will notice that marketing and sales have a very similar look and feel. And that is because it's all on the same platform and they share power of the same platform. So let's shift gears and start into Mark's role. When Mark logs to the system, he's greeted with the application that is tailored to him and his role. He's provided with the guidance and key resources to work most efficiently to engage with his customers. His day will be structured all around who, what, and how. Who really being what group of customers he's looking to interact, what being that meaningful content that he's looking to create, and then putting all that together in one automated journey. So the first step is to address that who or to segment customers. This is the list of all segments that Mark has created in the past, but he will start with a new segment. And this is where he is greeted with our new feature, or what we call the Query Assist. It's a new Copilot feature enhanced with the generative AI capabilities, which will allow Mark to use just a conversational, everyday language to quickly build the targeting and even very complex segments. So he set contacts outside Canada, contact, and he can just describe what he wants to be in this segment. Just like that, Query Assist has built it and we can just put it into the use. That's how quickly the Query Assist works, and it even offers a different example and suggestions. Of course, there is an option that you can do this manually, and this segment designer will allow you to build segments based on demographics or behavioral data, ensuring that Mark can maximize reach and tapping the right people. There is also a variety of data entities that Mark can use to segment customers. Let's say where they have a specific survey response, where they are registered for an event, or where they have a specific lead score. And the list only grows. Really, this is all about helping Mark to understand better and visualize his customer base and target the right audience with the right content in the right direction. We can get the estimate of this segment, and once we have that, we can see if we want to build anything else on top of that. Once this segment goes live, now it's in the draft mode, Mark will be provided with a lot of statistics and insights and how his segment can change over time. And thanks to these statistics, Mark can just come in and reevaluate whether it needs to be updated or adjusted to really target the right audience. So since he finished targeting the targeting and segmenting the customers, addressing that who, the next steps is moving to what or creating that meaningful contact. So he will go to the emails, and this is where he's greeted with all emails that he has created in the past. If he starts to create a new, this is where he will be greeted with a myriad of template options, making it really easy for Mark to engage with the system, and of course, lowering the time that it takes him to create that meaningful content for his targeted audience. For the purpose of this demonstration, we will take a look at the template that Mark has already created. On the right-hand side, he's greeted with a toolbox that allows him to use the drag and drop interface to create a meaningful content and personalized experiences for the customer. Plus, there is an optional HTML editor for working directly with code, and it adds that more granular control. However, the core part value of HTML editor for Mark is that he can easily migrate all of existing assets, meaning taking all existing and current marketing emails and bringing it in super efficiently by utilizing that HTML editor. In addition, with only one click, he can add a personalization, or what we call that he can add that dynamic content to his message in order to really grab the attention of his customers to the email that he's creating. Dynamic content is really aimed to fuel personalized messaging and improve user experience with relevance. So think about, let's say, when you visit your Amazon homepage, nothing there is generic. They greet you by name, they show you a list of cool stuff that you might like, and they're usually spot on. That's why Amazon doesn't just have users, they have a rating, fans, and that's where the dynamic content can tap into the potential of users' data to keep them engaged and wanting more. Another powerful thing that Mark has is the content ideas. And this is, again, the sales co-pilot that he can leverage. He can just type a couple key points that he wants, choose the tone of the voice, let's say engage, and get ideas. This is great if Mark is getting stuck on the creativity for like drafting the body of this email. Under the hood, content ideas also reference the past marketing email, so it can generate ideas that are similar in tone and structure and style that Mark has used in the past. Also, Mark can get a sneak peek of his message and how that message is seen on the different devices across, ensuring that audience will have the best possible experience with this email. And also, it's ensuring that the content that is delivered it's in appropriate format regardless of how the customers is engaged. And finally, once this email goes live, Mark can get insights on how his content is performing. So as you can see here, he can really dive into deliverability of his message, like any unopened hard bounces, and giving those valuable insights in how his call to action and how his customers are interacting with the content that he has created and how it can maybe depart from what he wants. So now, since we addressed the who, segment the customers, and creating that what meaningful content, the next step is addressing the journey or putting all that together. Here are all journeys that Mark has created in the past, but he will start with leveraging the new journey, and this is where the co-pilot will help him out. Again, he can use that natural language that describe what he wants, or just leverage some of the examples. So he will start with this one, where the co-pilot will start the journey for him by contacts who register for that webinar that we are creating, right? And then he can just continue building this. He can really tailor it, customize it. He has that logic that he can send the customers to the right path. And this is how quickly he can add all those triggers. Let's say they register for the event, he can order that webinar information, send them that. If they haven't, he can says, hey, I'll send you another email and we missed you because you haven't registered for our webinar. So he can really just build that quickly. A couple more features that I can call out on this journey is that you have goals. You can create the specific goals that will help you to track that later on. And see it more on the analytics tab. Another thing is that frequency cap feature. Well, we know that some customers qualify for multiple journeys and campaigns that run simultaneously. Well, with the frequency cap feature, Mark can really optimize engagement by controlling how many messages are sent across multiple channels over a period. And then again, once this journey goes live, he will be greeted with all of that great analytics and he can receive that data-driven feedback and it can let him know how he's performing on each step. And this is the insight in context of what he's currently working on, but he can also get insights into a bigger picture or how he's performing more holistically across campaigns and emails via other dashboards. All what he has to do is to just navigate to the analytics, and this is where he will be greeted with all those analytics. He can track around the journeys, the segment trigger, he can explore why people left the journeys. And I just want to mention those are all three out of the box Power BI dashboards. Um, Again, here is another example, but I want to call out that you can even edit those dashboards, and they're very customizable where you can create that personalized experience to nudge customers toward important milestones in the buyer's journeys. And really, the milestones example include completing a purchase or becoming a loyalty program member or becoming that qualified sales opportunity. So they can also, once Mark now defined those milestones, he can measure them over time or even assess the effectiveness of the journeys and messages toward achieving the milestones by leveraging that AI-powered and rules-based attribution models. The final thing that I want to touch on this is the scoring models, and that's that critical link on how our marketing efforts will seamlessly be handed off to the sales. So we will just navigate to the scoring models. And we have here one of the scoring models already built for the webinar engagement model. And how that works, it's a drag and drop interface. So for example, when my targeted customers open an email, we'll give them 10-point increase. If they click the link, we'll give them the 15 points increase. If they register for the webinar, we will give them 20-point increase. If they set up the account, we will give them a 30 points increase. All that until they hit this sales ready score, which I define as 55, and that will pass them along to the sales where the sales can pick them off and take them through the sales process. So fast forward, all our marketing efforts were very helpful, and now we can go and explore all our leads that we generated through this marketing efforts. So if I go on the marketing tab, I'll have all my leads per different rating. So I'm going to take a look at this one because it's the hottest and the new lead. It's Alex Baker. Keep in mind, this is how the lead card looks in the marketing tab. So you will see that this is past that the lead source is from email campaign, and this Alice Baker now got handed off automatically to Jen, and she will take them a look. So this completes the demonstration of the marketing, and now I'll hand it off to Matt, and he will take you on the sales ride where you will see and explore how Jen can qualify even better this Alex Baker lead. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Sarah. So we're going to switch gears now. We're going to talk a little bit about lead management and specifically something called Sales Accelerator, which exists inside Dynamics 365. So we're going to look at this through the lens of Jen, who's our inside sales representative. Now, what's going to happen with Sales Accelerator is we're really focused on, one is getting laser focused on the task at hand, which is working down my organized, prioritized lead list and being able to move quickly and make good decisions. So what you're going to see is that we're going to increase our lead conversion. We're going to leverage AI-generated insights throughout the experience to help us with time to value exercises and giving us information to hopefully make better decisions as we move along. We're going to use something called sequences, which is going to help us with our next best action. So what should I do next in that sequence of events specific to this particular prospect that we're talking to? And what can I do to navigate and orchestrate my actions so they're consistent and repeatable across the business? And then the last thing is we really want to improve that customer relationship. We want to get repeat business and improve our sales competency. So we're going to look at conversation intelligence. So as I jump on my Teams call, I talk to the client, do my qualification, we can take the output from that call and look at the things that were discussed, the keywords and so on. So with that, let's jump into Sales Accelerator. So you can see on my screen here, I'm logged into Dynamics 365, and I'm going to just work my way down the left-hand side here to my Sales Accelerator. I'm just going to collapse that for now so we've got a little bit more screen real estate to talk through this, but this effectively is my personalized sales acceleration workspace. I have full control over the look and feel of this, and it's going to be my place to go when I need to work down my lead qualification list. Now, there's a few things going on. One, this is my personalized work list, and I can change this on the fly. So I'm going to actually switch mine from lead scored by name and change it to scoring. And you can see what that's done is reprioritize my list, and we've done it by score. And we're going to dig into what that score means shortly, but these are essentially the leads with the highest potential to close that are in my prioritized work list. Now, if I'm, maybe working outside the realm of inside sales, maybe I'm working as an outside seller or a business development rep, I can also include other activity types and other tables. So maybe I want to bring in my opportunities, my accounts. You can personalize this any way that you want to work and the look and feel of it. But just today, we're going to focus on our lead list that we're going to work through. So I'm bringing up my grade A Alex Baker lead, and this is the one we're going to focus on as I work through the next set of sequences. You can see I have all of the key information from Alex, the channel that she came in on based on the work that Sarah was doing up front from the marketing standpoint. I have her contact phone numbers, email addresses, company information. I even have turn-by-turn directions. In the middle of the screen is really where we get into that sequencing we talked about. So you can see here the first step in the process is that we need to send an introductory email to our company and our services and offering. And I can simply go ahead, click on that button and kick off that activity. But what you'll see here is that because we're following the new lead nurturing sequence of events, I can click on that and it's going to break down the orchestration of all of the things that are upcoming. So you can see we're on step 1 of 9 right now. The next step is we're going to send that intro email, wait 5 days, send a reminder, wait a little bit longer, make a call, and so on and so forth. So you as an organization have the ability to customize and configure these sequences to your business processes. And that's really important because different potential prospects, different clients will have different sequences of events that need to apply. And I'll show you a little bit of that later on, but you have full control over the sequence you're seeing on screen. So we're going to work our way down that sequence, and that's how we're going to push this forward and move quickly. And of course, if I send off that first email, we're done with Alex, I'm just going to move on to the next one, the next one, and the next one. And that's when I talk about velocity selling, having one screen, one place to be able to move quickly and burn down that lead list. And of course, at any point in time, I can click on my phone icon, kick off Teams, and actually use embedded Teams to be able to make that call and use that as my dialer as well. Just going to draw your attention to a few other things here. So we have our activity timeline. This is really important because this is your audit trail of all of the activity that's taken place. So think about the appointments, the emails, the tasks, the phone calls, all of those activities are embedded in that timeline for that lead. And that timeline will go forward as we start to move into opportunity development and creating an account and contacts. That timeline follows you so you don't lose traceability of all of those different activities. Right-hand side of the screen is where we start to get in a little bit of machine learning, Office Graph, and AI to help us with our decision making. The first thing you see is something called Who Knows Whom. And this is really interesting. Think of it as LinkedIn for your internal in-house network within your company. So what it's saying here is that Amy Alberts, another employee in my company, has a really strong relationship with Alex Baker. So potentially she's emailed her previously, had phone calls, conversations, and because Microsoft has the M365 and the Office Graph, we can understand the level of engagement and activity taking place with other sellers to look at that who knows whom and use that to our advantage when it comes to getting introduced. So if I wanted to, I could message Amy directly here and say, hey, I see you have a strong relationship with Alex. Can you please help me get introduced and set up that warm introduction to help me with the relationship building? And you can see we've got Alan as well in the company. His relationship with Alex is a little lesser on the strength chart, but still another person we could reach out to. One other thing I'm going to draw your attention to before I jump into scoring is something called our assistant cards. These are really important because we have, I believe, 50 pre-baked cards. And what these cards do is some of them are reactive, looking at things like, hey, you have an upcoming appointment, your opportunity is about to close. Very, very easy to toggle those on. Those assistant cards are going to pop up in your dashboard, daily dashboard of what's going on in your business. There also can be pushed out as well to mobile device, to the bell notification as you're working in Dynamics, to remind you and draw your attention to things that you may not necessarily see just by looking at the screen, looking at the data. The example I have here is Alex, through one of her communications, has mentioned a competitor. So this is actually what we call an AI-driven insights card. These ones are a little more advanced, and we're analyzing and looking at the communications. And if we, for an example, detect a competitor, we're going to draw your attention to that. We want this particular seller, Jen, to know she's mentioning a competitor. This potential opportunity lead that we're developing is at risk. And there's a lot of other examples. These are simple cards that you toggle on, enable, and just let them get to work looking at your data as your sellers are working with the system. So that's your assistant cards, really, really powerful. Relationship health is another aspect that's really interesting here. This is looking at the overall level of engagement, level of communication, the quality of the communication, and balancing it between how much is Alex investing in us versus how much are we investing in Alex. And we're going to dig into that in a moment in our relationship analytics, which will explain that a little further. Before we go there, let's touch on lead scoring, because this is really interesting and really what we're using to make a lot of decisions off the screen. So the lead scoring is a machine learning model. It's a proprietary model built by Microsoft that you can just simply turn on. It's going to look at your lead history across the organization, and it's going to compare leads that are similar to this one, and also look at open leads, closed leads, ones that you've lost, ones that you've won, as well as attributes that you bring to the system, and that's really important. So think about the custom fields, the data that you're using in your business that is really important to how you make decisions. Those fields can be injected into our lead scoring and opportunity scoring model to help influence the score. And you can see this one is a grade A lead, 91%, the relationship is approving, and we have some signals down below, score improvers, around purchase timeframe, decision makers, budget. Imagine having your fields listed on that list as well, influencing the score. And they're not always going to be positive, right? There's going to be detractors and things that are making your deal less likely to close. All of that feeds into the scoring model. So this score is going to update on a nightly basis. It's going to give you that snapshot in time, how the score is. And of course, if the score changes over time, you're going to be able to see that history as well. For now, I just want to show you one more thing before we duck into relationship analytics, and that's really around the phone call and the analysis. So imagine I pick up the phone, I call Alex, we have a great conversation. When I jump off that call, I have something called conversation intelligence, and this is all built around generative AI, helping me understand what took place on that call and what was the recap, the action items, the keywords, and so on. So you can see here I have, again, just an example phone call for this demonstration where Alex and I spoke, and I have full sentiment analysis running across that call. So green is good, things were positive. Red is potentially where something was contentious that was discussed. The way I look at this is obviously as an individual inside sales rep or seller, this is for continuous improvement, so I can go back and obviously listen to what took place. But potentially, is there something that I could personally do better to continuously improve and enhance my selling? Further to that, we have all of the highlights that came out. We have the action items that came out of the call, and we have all the mentions. So think of these combined as your recap. What did we commit to doing? What did Alex commit to? Did she mention competitors, pricing, vendors, suppliers, things that are really important to the organization that we may want to follow up on? And of course, anything that was committed to, we can make that actionable and submit that into the system as a follow-up for Jen as a task or an appointment or a phone call. So we're really closing the loop on those telephone conversations happening out on Teams and giving you that full recap of what's taken place. And of course, AI is really impactful here, helping us do that. So that's your conversation intelligence built in. Two more things before we jump off this screen. I'm just going to look at relationship analytics. And you heard me talk about the relationship score and how we're doing. Are we improving or declining that whole relationship? Well, here's your answer. We have several KPIs that talk about the commitment from Alex versus the seller, Jen, and how she's doing. And we can look here. There are the number of calls that have taken place, the response rate. We can look across the organization who we're talking to, as well as my colleagues who are reaching out and talking to Alex as well. So it's a one-stop shop kind of dashboard of all of the interactions taking place. I can compare the number of meetings, emails, phone calls. What is Alex doing versus what we're doing? How much time are we investing? How many emails are we sending? And what is she opening and interacting with? What is the biggest amount of clicks and links that are appealing to her? We have our email send to open ratio. And probably my favorite is a rolling 60-day relationship activity timeline. So I can go back any day in the last 60 days and I can have a look and get telemetry across what activities took place in that timeline. So this is fantastic. And you're going to see this again on your leads, your contacts, your accounts, and your opportunities. It's repeatable. And really only Microsoft can do this because we own M365, Office 365. So we have all of that interoperability into the Office suite to understand the emails, the tasks, the appointments, and the activity taking place on Teams to be able to put all that into that relationship analytics dashboard seamlessly. Very, very powerful. This will help me make good decisions. The last thing I'll just touch on is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I mentioned that we own LinkedIn, therefore we leverage LinkedIn data. So I know that we're talking to Fabricam right now where Alex works. I've brought up Alex's profile so I can get a little bit of a snapshot about her publicly available professional data or where she's working, where she's previously worked. And if I am licensed to do so, I can go into Sales Navigator and really continue my hunting and gathering out in that system to help me build out that Sales Navigator profile. But even if I don't have that, I simply get a snapshot of who Alex is, where she's working. I can look at things like icebreakers, related leads, other information that she may be sharing, or in fact, I can reach out to her directly using InMail. So really great to bring the rich experience of LinkedIn into my lead capture, into my sales accelerator. The other piece I want to highlight is we also have several dashboards and built-in reports which will propagate and give you statistics and information about not only your inside sellers, but your lead performance, your sequence performance, and in fact break it down right to the step level around how those sequences are performing. We need that when we're doing velocity selling to be able to make better decisions when it comes to assignment, getting the right rep at the right place, but also looking for bottlenecks in the process where perhaps we are slowing down, where we need to move a little bit quicker. So what you're seeing on screen, great example of our sequence report. This is something that you can turn on, plug and play, and it'll start to propagate. But as an inside sales manager, I get an overarching view of how we're doing across all of our sequences. So we're going to move on to our next persona now. We're going to meet Jeremy, who's a field sales representative, but it could easily be someone in outside sales, a different field seller, a business development rep, anybody who's really tasked with driving forward those opportunities, closing deals, getting the proposal in place, and really landing that new business and controlling their forecast. That's who we're targeting with this piece. And we have some really great experiences, similar to Sales Accelerator, around Deal Manager with our pipeline relationship view. So what you're about to see is that we're going to have a similar workspace for Jeremy where he has intelligently scored up his opportunities using predictive AI. We're going to provide suggestions and we're going to keep him in his productivity tool inside Dynamics 365 where he can make edits quickly, create new opportunities quickly, and get all of that information at his fingertips with an eye to driving value around time to value, also making good decisions and moving quicker. We're going to bring in Teams collaboration. So it doesn't matter where I am in Dynamics, I can bring up my contextual Teams chat, have a conversation regarding an opportunity or a lead or whatever it may be, right where I'm working in that same workspace. And then we're going to drive cross-sell, upsell efforts. We have some predictive capabilities there using generative AI that are going to tell us where have I been successful before with opportunities that are very similar. So with that, let's jump in and take a look at this in action. So like before, I'm back in Dynamics 365 Sales, and you can see I've gone down the left-hand side into my opportunities. And now I'm looking at a very new capability called my pipeline view. And of course, you can flip back to a traditional tabular view if that's what you're used to working with. I personally love using pipeline relationship view because it not only is a workspace I can personalize to my needs, but it also gives me visual representation on a timeline about the quality and quantity of my opportunities. So let's break down the screen and what is happening here. So obviously I have all of my different views that I can toggle between. So I can look at my open, my close, my lost, my win-loss. All of my different views are there. Right now I'm just looking at my fiscal year 23 opportunities out to December 31st. As I change those views, I have a series of KPIs running across the top of my screen. So if I'm looking at my win-loss report or just my lost opportunities, these KPIs are going to fill out depending on the view. Right now, because I'm looking at open opportunities, I just see my number of opportunities and my pipeline value. But you have control over the different measures that you might want to introduce in order to educate your sellers on where they are in their pipeline. Middle of the screen is my deal tracker view, interactive chart laid out from with all of my close dates. And then we have grading, grade A, B, and C. And this ties back again to the opportunity scoring. So we have that nightly machine learning model running against my opportunities. And if I hover over an example here, my wealth management solution, again, is graded grade A, 88% score. And we can dig into the details of why machine learning picked on those attributes and those signals to be able to come up with that score. But for me, as Jeremy, the seller, this gives me a really good visual indicator that, hey, the bigger, the greener the bubble, the higher likelihood I have of closing this piece of business. And of course, because it's on a timeline, I know when my due dates are and what I need to focus on next from a priority standpoint. You have control over the look and feel of this, the colors, and you also have control over what constitutes a grade A B, and a C. You'll always bring your own fields and your own important data inside Dynamics to influence and train those models. That's fundamental to making sure that this works for you and your business. So that's the top half of the screen. Of course, if you don't like the bubbles, you can always switch to a traditional pipeline funnel chart as well. That breaks it down into the different sales stages, and then I can drill in and see those opportunities based on funnel stage. The bottom of the screen is really a grid of all of the data that you just saw. So I can scroll down these 24 different opportunities, and each one of these corresponds to a bubble. Pretty straightforward. Where this gets interesting though is I can edit the columns, the filters, the layout of these columns. I have full control over the look and feel of that grid. That's really important. And of course, I can add my own filters and remove columns and make changes because it's my own personal workspace. Now, if I was to focus on this wealth management solution, I can just hover over it. And this is great from a productivity standpoint because I'm not taken away to another window, getting lost in the system elsewhere. I actually get an embedded pane on the right-hand side that I can also configure and make suitable to my needs. And this has all the key information. It has all of our sort of breakdown of SWOT analysis, our up next from sequencing, timeline. All of that good stuff is here for me. And I can even change this. If I want to make this a little wider permanently, I can expand it. I can add in the business process flow if I want the chevrons guiding me through the sales process. You're in charge, which is really, really powerful. And of course, I can go and make changes directly here, or if I just want to make changes directly inline in the grid to move a little quicker, I can go ahead and do that as well. Every click I make and everywhere I move will save automatically, so it's a nice, easy, productive experience. We're going to go into the full screen view of opportunities in a moment, but I'll just point out a couple of other things from the screen. If I ever need to get a new opportunity in the system, everywhere you go, you're always going to see the plus signal. If I click on the plus, it's going to bring out my most frequently used tables, and I can go ahead and create a new opportunity. And with the opportunity form open, I can fill that out and save and close. And that will be reflected in my timeline. One little hidden gem here is actually as soon as you create an opportunity in the system, the machine learning model kicks into gear. You don't have to wait. It's going to start scoring and analyzing that opportunity right away and make sure it's aggregated and put into your deal tracker right in front of you. The other thing that's important from this screen is Teams chat. So you can see I have a little icons on the right-hand side here. If I bring up a Teams chat, I can start chatting to my colleagues. A great example is I want to bring in my deal team to help me on a proposal or generate a contract. So in this case, I've brought in Alicia and Adam to help me out, and we can just go backwards and forwards and chat directly from this screen. I'm going to pop my wealth management solution opportunity open to the full screen, and it's going to look a little something like this. Not too dissimilar to what we saw on leads, but a few differences here. One, we do have the business process flow across the top of the screen. A lot of companies that I work with still use this because it helps ring fence and control the stages of the process. And of course, you can report on each of these stages. We have built-in Power BI reports that can help you understand, why is this deal stuck at 5 months in the qualification stage? How many deals are stuck at develop, propose, so on and so forth, to really help you hone in and improve that sales process. And of course, what I love is actually just pinning that to the right-hand side of my screen. So again, I'm still in my productivity space. I'm getting things done, but I can just check the boxes as I move through on my sales stage fields right over here. We have sequencing here as well. Sequences follow me throughout the system because maybe the opportunity sequence is a little different to what we saw in leads. Maybe it's dependent on the client, the industry, the products themselves. So you have control over that, and it runs very similar to leads. We have opportunity scoring we talked about, and similarly, we get details around how the opportunity scoring is faring based on those things we discussed earlier around relationship analytics and the machine learning scoring. The assistant is still working for me. It's telling me my opportunity is closing soon, so I need to pay attention to that. And of course, I have my relationship analytics running for me as well, so I can scroll down. But there is one key difference here that's a little hidden that I personally love, and it's similar deals that we've won. This is an AI predictive model that looks at similar opportunities in the system, similar patterns, characteristics, themes that are coming up around the company, the size of the opportunity, the revenue, and it actually shows you telemetry around opportunities that were very, very similar. So as a seller, as Jeremy, I can go in, take a look at this one, look at some of the time spent, what we actually did from a product standpoint, and use that to my advantage because it's a deal that is very, very similar to what we're preparing right now. So that's in your relationship analytics. The last thing I'll just touch on is that we have a pretty rich experience around product management and working with price lists, bundling, and packages. So for this opportunity here, I've just pulled in a single product from my product catalog, which is my revenue management solution. But something that's actually really interesting here as well is that we have built-in suggestions. So at any point in time, I can launch my suggestions and look for substitutes, cross-sell, upsell opportunities around those products, that things that I may want to include into the narrative when I'm preparing my quote and moving things forward. So if you haven't looked at products and how we do products and services for a while inside Dynamics, it's a pretty rich experience now and very, very configurable. So with that, last thing I want to touch on is our Sales Copilot experience. So you can see this icon is also following me throughout Dynamics. So I'm going to click on it, and I have lots of recent queries here. But if I click into the chat control, I can get it to catch me up on this opportunity. I'm going to try summarize the opportunity right now, and this is my wealth management opportunity, and I'm going to let that run. So what this is doing is using Azure OpenAI and our large language models, looking at what's going on inside Dynamics, and it's going to go away and prepare a rich summary of this opportunity. So all of the interactions that have taken place, where we're at from a revenue standpoint, budgeting standpoint, when this is likely to close, sales stages, and it wraps that into a very nice digest so I can quickly get up to speed. So think about a new account manager coming in, wanting to get up to speed on pipeline or individual opportunities, or in fact, just trying to get the latest and greatest summary of what's taken place. So your Sales Copilot is going to become your partner as you navigate Dynamics and need more information, more telemetry, more insights around your opportunities, leads, and accounts. So we're going to look at one more thing today, and that is predictive forecasting, part of Dynamics 365 Sales. And what we're going to see here is Jeremy, our field sales rep, is able to come in and accurately look at his forecast and how he's performing against quota for a given period or a given fiscal year, and then truly understand the health of his opportunities, pipeline, and overall business health. This in turn will help him make accurate decisions and then influence what strategic decisions he will make next when it comes to managing his pipeline. We're going to see some generative AI working on our forecast to obviously predict what is likely to close and what may not make it in. And we're going to do all that on top of Dynamics 365 Sales on the same database that we're doing lead management and we're doing opportunity management. It's all conjoined together inside the same system. So with that, let's go jump in and take a closer look. So what we have here is I'm back in Dynamics 365 Sales, and I've come down the left-hand side and I've clicked on my forecast. Now, right here, Jeremy, our seller that we've just seen, is part of Nancy's team. So he's looking at Nancy's forecast for the fiscal year. You can see we're looking out October to December. And I also have the ability to drill in by different attributes. So I could drill in by account, or maybe in your organization, it's by territory or vertical or some other dimension. You have the ability to control the drill through. But what we're going to see for Jeremy is if I click on his name, Obviously, we have the quota that's set for him this quarter, the prediction, which we'll come back to, what he's won, what's in the forecast, what's committed, best case lost, pipeline, the gap to quota, and pipeline coverage. These columns are set up by you when you set up your forecast. You have full configuration around the setup and what dimensions are going to make up your forecast. But this is an example one we have for Jeremy in his organization so he can manage his pipeline. You saw when I clicked on his name, we now get a Kanban view. So I can drill in down here and look at what's in the pipe, what's in best case, committed. And of course, I can go in and start moving things around based on how I'm feeling about the opportunities against forecast. Bigger picture, Nancy, who's Jeremy's manager or a departmental lead, can come in and look at the overarching performance of the team and the forecast for, say, a business unit. And then they can move the opportunities around and manage that pipeline for the business at more of a hierarchical level across that sales team. What we're seeing today is just an individual forecast for Jeremy, which is still very, very useful, so he can come in and see how he's performing. A couple of other things to note here. We can see that we're 28% of forecast for the quarter, which is not too bad, 20 days into October. I also have the ability to come in and make adjustments on the fly to the forecast. So, for example, if Jeremy runs into someone at the water cooler and he gets a tip off that one of his deals is likely to close a little higher than was estimated, he can adjust that forecast and accommodate for those changes on the fly here. And of course, Nancy, and she can do that on behalf of her sellers as well. The other piece we have to too is the actual prediction. Now, the prediction is based on a multitude of data points in the system. So we're looking again at what's won, what's open, likely to win, what's lost, and we're running that through an AI predictive model on a daily basis. You can see up the top left, we have forecast grid history. I can go back in time and look at those snapshots of how things have changed. But looking at a real-time current prediction here, we can see that Jeremy has several factors influencing his total prediction. So we've got 126K predicted from open, we've got 52K closed and won, 328K predicted from new, and the total prediction element is around about 500K. What I find really interesting is that we have the positive and negative influences that describe this prediction. So we can see here some opportunities were found to close unexpectedly fast, less than 2 days. That's interesting. And then 18 opportunities in the pipe are expected to close in the forecast period. These are positive influences. It will also highlight and show negative influences. And it's especially useful from a departmental viewpoint, say from Nancy, looking across the team to see what those influences are. And again, this is plug and play. Looks at the data, looks at the history in the system, and starts to calculate and work on that forecast. And only we can do that because it's all on the same platform. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank Sarah for her great work up front. And we're going to move on to wrapping up the session. Thank you.